the NFC Championship round. 45-31 is your final. And with that, we welcome you to Game Day Final, presented to you by Mercedes-Benz. That's Bucky Brooks. I'm Chris Rose. Welcome. Boy, you picked a fun night to be here.
Fun night.
Jaden Daniels, we knew he was special when he won the Heisman Trophy at LSU. We knew it might take a little while for the second pick to turn things around after an ownership change and a front office change and a coaching change. Well, it took him less than a year. This kid is unreal. How did he get it done on the road against the #1 seed?
Well, one, he's special. He's one of the best dual-threat playmakers that we've seen, but it's the poise. We have seen him display the kind of confidence, poise, composure that you want to see from elite quarterbacks. That is one of the reasons why the Commanders have moved on to the NFC title game.
Well, he just plays with such a calmness. It reminds me a lot of C.J. Stroud when we saw him as a rookie last season with the Houston Texans, but you multiply the athleticism and the game-breaking ability by about 1,000.
Yeah, so when you think about Jaden Daniels, one, the experience, playing over 50-plus games in college, that gave him a head start because that experience parlayed into a level of expertise. Two, matching up with Cliff Kingsbury, who's very comfortable dealing with athletic quarterbacks like he had and Kyler Murray doing Arizona. And then Dan Quinn, being able to really entrust the franchise to a young player and putting the pieces around him to allow him to flourish. A lot of things had to go into play to help Jaden Daniels be the success that he's been as a rookie. But look, make no mistake about it, this is an elite quarterback who's playing at that level in year one.
I think a lot of questions going into this game was, how is Washington going to keep up with the Lions, right? They're #1 in the league in scoring. They're at home. They're the #1 seed for the first time in franchise history. Why was it the other way around? Why was it that the Lions couldn't keep pace with Washington here?
Well, there's a lot of pressure when you're the #1 seed and when you're playing at home. The fast start from the Washington Commanders certainly put the Lions behind the 8 ball. But then it's the turnovers. Most playoff games are decided by the team that makes the fewest mistakes, and the Lions committed epic mistakes. Turnovers, penalties, big plays allowed. It's hard to win in the postseason when you can't get out your own way.
I hate the whole thing about the house money, but I guess that's accurate when you're talking about the pressure and all that sort of stuff. Jared Goff is a guy that in his postseason career has not turned the ball over. 9 previous games before Saturday night, just 2 turnovers. He doubled that. He had 4 of them on Saturday night. Was it something that Washington was doing to him that was a little bit different this time around?
Well, they were able to get around him. They were able to put pressure on him, and they were able to do it while still playing their traditional zones. They wanted to keep the ball in front, not let the ball go over the top. And because they were able to get people in Jared Goff's face, you saw some tips and overthrows that landed in the hands of the Commanders. But Goff also lost his discipline and his patience. Some of the things that you want to do when you're playing a little bend but don't break style, you want to test the discipline of the quarterback. He got out of sorts. He pushed the ball down the field instead of taking available checkdowns, and it cost him. And in these games where it's really about making the fewest mistakes, Jared Goff made far too many mistakes for the Detroit Lions to move on.
And for Washington, 32 straight seasons without a berth in the NFC title game. You can now remove them off of that board. So the Cleveland Browns, who weren't even in the league for 3 years, that's why the math's a little funky there, and the Miami Dolphins currently share the lead. But as far as consecutive years in the NFC without a title game appearance, it's the Dallas Cowboys, who are still in search of a head coach at this point. Very quickly, next week with the Commanders, they've got road wins so far at Tampa and Detroit. Does it matter to them? I mean, they're comfortable with Philadelphia. They beat them. They're the only team to have beaten Philadelphia in the last 14 games, by the way, although that was home. This NFC title game would be in the city of brotherly love. Or they'll be on the road against the Rams, who they did not play this season. Do they match up better with one of those teams?
Well, anytime you play a division rival, you certainly know them. The familiarity will give them confidence, knowing that when Philly tries out there, they know exactly what they want to do. They know the playmakers. They've tasted their power. And so that could be advantageous. Whereas with the Rams, it's a new opponent dealing with a new level of preparation when it comes to get ready. But at this point, when you're 1 game away from the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter who you play. You can be locked in and ready to go.
God, this is a long highlight. This is like, it feels
I mean,
like
that looks like a playbook.
Yeah, it feels like about 6 or 7 minutes. You going to help me out with this?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's go to it. So for Daniels, that is his 14th win this season as a rookie quarterback to tie Big Ben for the most when you factor in the playoffs in NFL history. Jaden Daniels, a tip of the cap to you, sir, as he grabs the mic.
All right, here we go. Feels good. surreal moment just for, Washington fan base, whole DMV. It's just an awesome feeling.
Could you, just the crowd noise, I mean, what do you hear on the field?
I don't focus on anything like that. It was a very electrifying fan base game, atmosphere. So, I was excited playing it, but you can't let the outside distractions, distract you from what the main goal is, and that's to win.
Jen, you had a really took care of the blitz. Seemed to be all. What was the key there?
Yeah, handle their blitz, know where your man beaters are, be man-to-man coverage. And, we did that, and, that's kudos to them. That's a phenomenal team over there. Well coached, fight hard. So, it was a tough fight and a challenge for us. I always believe that we could achieve more than what people give us credit for. But, you got to go out there, put in the work. You got to go out there, work daily, get better each and every day, and just put your head down and grind. And by the end of the time of the season, you look up, you might be in a position like this.
What do you think of your defense tonight?
Played lights out. They got us the ball back. Made plays when the plays needed to be made. I'm happy for, Mikey. Obviously 2 picks in the playoff game, a game like this, obviously coming back to Michigan, especially him us being the same draft class. I'm just so excited for him. But the whole defense, they played lights out. They made plays and got turnovers.
Hey, how about with that second quarter? 42 points between the two teams, most in NFL playoff history.
Yeah, we knew we were going to have to put up points. That's a very explosive offense over there with a lot of great players. And, we knew we had to go out there and put up points.
These guys have gone for it down all year. You kept doing it again tonight. How important was it to keep converting those?
Got to sustain drives to keep drives going. We knew with the firepower they had on the other side of the ball, so we didn't want to give them the ball back.
How refreshing was it to end the game kneeling instead of in dramatic fashion?
It was awesome. Just be able to go out there and victory formation, the best formation of football.
Yeah, that's game for Brian Robinson. How important was it to get that version of you run?
Yeah, ran hard, got behind his pads, got him downhill. O-line did a phenomenal job of staying on blocks, getting up to double teams and stuff like that. So, all around good game for the offense, the whole team. But, we got more to go out there and accomplish. We got to get better next week.
Hey, Jamie, when you think about your approach to the playoff games versus every other game, have you changed anything, or how did you go?
Not at all. Not at all. Stay the same. Obviously, media, everybody's going to put more magnitude on the games because it's win or go home. You'll have another game the next week if you lose. But you got to go out there and stay consistent.
Jamie was very loud in there. How nice was it in the second half when it got very quiet?
I didn't even notice it, honestly. The crowd came out and, they're very hyped. But I wasn't even focused on the crowd noise. I was going out there and focusing on my 1 and 11.
How key were the fourth down conversions for you guys? Do you think they got rattled, 12 men on the field in general? Just
very, very key. Like I said, there's a lot of firepower and a great offense on the other side of the ball, so we didn't want to give them the ball back. And I don't know. That's something they communicated we can only focus on and control what we can control.
Let the trolling begin. Well, we know it ain't his burner account. I guess you can cross out a Pistons trip in the future for Kevin Durant. Have a great night, Detroit. Not to pile on here or anything, but it will remain a table of 4 for teams to never make the Super Bowl. Texans, they've only been around a couple of decades. Jaguars, 3 decades. But the Browns and Lions, they've been around basically since the inception of the sport. And that is very, very tough for both of those franchises. But let's stick with the Detroit Lions. Number 1 seed for the first time ever. Highest scoring team in franchise history. Most wins in a season for the Lions. Now they're most likely going to lose at least one, if not both of their coordinators. This is a gut punch.
Yeah, this is tough. It's tough because everything was lined up for the Detroit Lions to make the Super Bowl. You have an opportunity to go. You have home field advantage. You're the number 1 overall seed. And you don't play your best in the postseason. And that's the unfortunate part about the playoffs is, look, single elimination tournament, you got to be able to get it done when you have those opportunities. And the Detroit Lions will look back at this game and they'll rue those missed opportunities that they kind of left on the field.
What was it here? Because, we really thought that nobody could, even if Detroit, because they have been so undermanned, particularly on that front line for months now, There was no Hutchinson, no Lee McNeil. We didn't think there was a team that could stick with them score for score necessarily.
Yeah, but also you got to remember they helped them. Like the Lions helped the Commanders with all the turnovers. You give extra opportunities, you have penalties, you give up big plays. All of those things come back to bite you. And let's be honest, when you think about this Commanders offense, the quarterback is special. Jaden Daniels can hurt you not only as a passer, but as a runner. And his ability to attack down the field really hurt them. But it was more so the Commanders' ability to win one-on-one against man coverage. The Lions were bold. They took a strategy where they wanted to go at them and challenge them at the line of scrimmage, and the Commanders were the better team today.
All of a sudden, there's a lot of celebrity Washington football fans out there. They were pretty quiet for a few decades, but they're coming out in droves, including Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Whoa!
I see you. I see you. Well, you know what? Let's make a pit stop back in Motown. Terry McLaurin, another touchdown on Saturday night, another victory as well.
Chào tất cả các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Video ngày hôm nay của mình sẽ là những video tô mò. Đây, những video tô mò của những sản phẩm con vật đây các bạn ạ. Đây là con chim cánh cụt này, mình tô rất chi là nhiều con vật ở đây.